For 40 years, one plane ruled the skies. Then, Europe decided to build something bigger, much bigger. The Airbus A380, the Superjumbo, a double-decker Leviathan capable of carrying over 800 people. It remains the largest and most complex passenger aircraft ever mass-produced.
The dream was simple, but the engineering was impossible. A full double-decker aircraft. To build the world's biggest plane, they first had to build the world's biggest factory hall here in Toulouse, France.
The scale inside is hard to comprehend. A human is just a speck against the machinery. But the A380 isn't just French, it's a European jigsaw puzzle. Its parts are built across a continent and must be brought together to be assembled. And moving parts this big required rewriting the rulebook of logistics. The journey begins at ports across Europe. Sections too big for any cargo plane must travel by sea. Airbus built a fleet of custom ships just to ferry these giant components to France. They arrive at the French coast, but they are still far from the factory in Toulouse. Inside the ships, accelerometers monitor every wave to ensure the fuselage isn't stressed during the voyage. The parts are transferred to barges for a journey down the Garonne River. They must navigate narrow rivers and pass under ancient bridges with only inches to spare. At the river's end, the most difficult leg begins, the road trip. Only at night, when the roads are closed, does the convoy move. From above, it looks like a giant white caterpillar moving through the vineyards of France. In villages like Lévignac, the Superjumbo squeezes past bedroom windows with literal inches of clearance. Sometimes street signs must be removed just to let the wing pass. The trailers are engineering marvels themselves, with independently steerable wheels to navigate tight corners. Finally, after a journey of thousands of miles, the pieces arrive in Toulouse. Welcome to the final assembly line, the cathedral where the pieces become a plane. Unlike the carbon fiber 787, the A380 is a metal beast. These sections are coated in green anti-corrosion primer. The central barrel, built in France, is the keystone. It is lowered into a massive alignment jig. The nose section moves in on hovercraft-like pallets to meet the center. This is heavy metal engineering. Thousands of rivets are driven in with hydraulic guns to join the sections forever. But before they arrived here, some of these massive sections began their life in Hamburg, Germany. The rear fuselage barrels are actually manufactured here in Germany. The rear pressure bulkhead, a critical carbon fiber shield, is drilled with robotic precision. It is a synchronized ballet of French aerodynamics and German structural engineering. Back in Toulouse, the aft fuselage completes the 73-meter-long tube. In just a few days, the disconnected parts become a single massive fuselage structure. Standing inside, the sheer volume is overwhelming. It looks more like a subway tunnel than an airplane cabin. The wings are born in Broughton, Wales. They are the largest wings ever created for a passenger plane. The internal skeleton is a complex lattice of aluminum ribs and heavy spars designed to hold tons of fuel. Automatic drilling machines crawl over the surface, installing thousands of fasteners. Once complete, each wing weighs 30 tons. Smaller components travel by the Beluga transport plane. In Toulouse, the most critical moment arrives: the wing-to-body join. The wing root is offered up to the fuselage. The engineering tolerances here are microscopic. Teams of mechanics secure the wing using massive bolts, locking the structure together. The 5-story tall tail fin, often pre-painted in Hamburg, is lowered into place. The Giant now stands on its own 22 wheels. The landing gear looks more like construction equipment, designed to support a takeoff weight of over 1.2 million pounds. To lift this weight requires immense power. 4 massive engines are installed. The fan blades are a marvel of hollow titanium sculpting. They look solid, but they are hollow inside to save weight. The diameter of the engine is so large, the fuselage of a Boeing 737 could fit inside it. Each engine is bolted to the wing pylons that must withstand 70,000 pounds of thrust. Massive ducts channel hot air from the engines to pressurize the enormous cabin volume. Once connected, the aerodynamic cowlings are latched shut. Inside, the aircraft contains over 300 miles of wiring. If you laid the wiring out end to end, it would stretch from Paris to London. The defining feature is installed: the stairs connecting the 2 full decks. It is 2 aircraft stacked on top of each other. The upper deck alone is wider than most single-aisle airliners. The plane flies to Hamburg for the final fit-out, turning the metal tube into a flying palace. For some customers, gold plating and wood veneers are installed. This is the only commercial plane with plumbing complex enough to support 2 onboard showers. An extra ton of water is carried just for the first-class passengers to shower at 40,000 feet. The onboard bar, a social hub, is lifted in as a single modular unit. LED mood lighting is programmed to reduce jet lag, simulating sunset and sunrise. In the upholstery shop, acres of premium leather are stitched by hand. The white glove inspection ensures perfection before the airline accepts the key. It enters a paint hangar that is essentially a climate-controlled building built for one plane. Layers of white base coat cover the green protective primer. The complex liveries like Emirates or Qantas are applied with precision. The finished product rolls out, a gleaming ocean liner of the skies. But before any passenger can board, a dedicated test airframe must undergo torture. The wings are bent upward by massive hydraulic jacks, mimicking turbulence. In the ultimate load test, the wing flexes nearly 30 feet before snapping. The cockpit glass is blasted with bird carcasses at 400 miles per hour to ensure it won't shatter. Then the water ingestion test. The plane blasts through a trench of deep water. The brakes are worn down and tested at maximum weight. They glow cherry red, reaching 3,000 degrees. From the fire of the brakes to the ice of the Arctic, the A380 is flown to Iqaluit, Canada. It sits for days at -40 degrees, soaking in the deep freeze.
The engines must fire up despite the oil being thick as tar. Then, to the other extreme, the baking deserts of the Middle East. And finally, the terrifying crosswind landings in Iceland. The landing gear must absorb the brutal side load forces without snapping.
The moment of truth, the maiden flight. 4 engines throttle up to full power.
The massive wings generate lift, and the 500-ton machine defies gravity.
It is a remarkably quiet and smooth aircraft, a gentle giant in the air. Safety is paramount. In tests, 853 people evacuated the aircraft in darkness in under 90 seconds.
In 2021, the final A380 rolled off the line. The giant assembly halls are now being converted to build smaller, more efficient jets.
The era of the 4-engine Superjumbo has ended, replaced by efficient twins.
Some early models are already being retired and recycled. But for the passengers, the magic remains.
It remains the only place in the sky where you can stand at a bar or take a shower. An engineering feat that proved we could build a flying cruise ship. A testament to European ambition and the incredible logistical feat of building the biggest airliner the world has ever seen.